And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of Shitfic Showcase. After that, the game went back to the board screen. It was all I could do not to burst out screaming.
Did not burst out laughing.
Yes. And my hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the controller because my gales of laughter were rocking my entire body.
Yes.
I
could feel my veins rupturing.
I knew the game was going to test me if I kept playing. Yeah, the quiz levels.
No.
But I had
Those
no
are just the
idea.
quizzes. Now you guys need a test.
Oh. But I had no idea it would go so far, or that it was even capable of doing what it just did. Yeah, games normally don't know your girlfriend. Your girlfriend cheated on you with a video game, didn't she?
And then ran out into traffic and killed herself. Because she'd rather do that but spend time with you.
Or this game.
Yes.
I could feel my brain going haywire as I asked myself, did the game just read my mind? That didn't seem possible, but what other explanation was there? It was then that I could no longer deny what now seemed obvious. This game is alive.
Maybe I should have been able to tell from the fucking lungs dangling out of the cartridge.
Yeah, the
beating heart.
yeah, the big pulsing brain on top of it also kind of threw me off. It's a miracle I could fit it into the fucking NES, really.
Yeah, and it kind of explains why it was shaped like an infant.
Yeah.
That I just crammed into my fucking NES. Just get in the cartridge slot.
Quit crying!
Yeah.
And not only that, it also can establish some kind of mental connection with the player. And yet, I couldn't convince myself to stop playing. I don't know if it was the game messing with my mind, or just my stubborn curiosity, but even with the previous revelation, I really wanted to see this through to the end. Even more than I did before I beat Dementia.
I don't think Dementia is even a fucking boss or level. Even if it was, I forgot and I don't care.
It was a level.
It's his own fucking Dementia.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the name of a level, but it's also his own Dementia.
Yeah.
Terrifying as it might be, even dangerous. I knew that if I quit playing, I would never be able to stop thinking about it. If I tried to restart the game, it might go back to being normal again.
Oh no!
How many people ever get to witness something like this firsthand, let alone be able to take screenshots of the whole thing?
You didn't take screenshots! You used Photoshop!
Fucked up as it was, this was the experience of a lifetime. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Yo.
But even so, I couldn't take any chances with my health. I had the TV remote right next to me, ready to turn the TV off, in case I felt I was in actual danger. Yeah, get bullied by a video game. Great. That's what's happening here. This game's gonna give him a fucking wedgie.
Yeah.
And then take his lunch money.
Mm-hmm.
And if that didn't work, I would pull the plug out of the wall.
He's gonna end up with his head in the toilet.
The
game did it!
In a manner of speaking, his head is already in a toilet.
Yeah.
And if that didn't work, I would pull the plug out of the wall or just run out of the room.
The game's giving him a fucking reverse swirly. I'm basically yanking the toilet out of the wall, flipping it upside down, and turning it over his head.
It's like at the end of a football game when they pour the Gatorade all over the players. That's what this game's gonna do when he beats it.
Here's your new hat.
Surely that would be enough, he says, clearly telegraphing that it won't be enough. Whatever powers the game,
quote-unquote game,
has, it seemed to be confined to what it can show on the TV. Wait a minute. Whatever powers the game has, it seemed. Pick a tense and stick with it!
This is so tense.
It seemed to be confined to what it can show on the TV and whatever its quote-unquote mental connection could do. The latter was what worried me. I still didn't know what I was dealing with, so I wasn't about to underestimate it. I took a break for a few minutes to calm my nerves, and then it was back to the game. And speaking of TVs, there was a TV icon right below the white forest I had just left, and because the first animation was so bizarre, I figured I'd try another to see what happens. Although I expected the same animation, I actually got a totally different one.
Stop playing this shitty game!
I'm your frog father.
Yes, this is the Frog Father, the classic movie trilogy.
Yes, yes.
The Frog Father Part 1.
Ribbit, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. Ribbit. Weird. The music for this one was the Neptune board music. Fitting, I suppose, since it's a fish man and all. Neptune, like King Neptune, like Poseidon, is fish man. This guy knows his water. I tell you what.
Yep.
I can't help but wonder what the point of these things are.
Just start throwing some extra what's in the sentence.
Little John.
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder what the point of these things are. Or it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Every sentence has to end with what.
Yeah.
Weird. What? The music for this one was the Neptune board music.
What?
Fitting, I suppose, since it's a fish man and all.
What?
I can't help but wonder what the point of these things are.
What?
There was one more TV screen icon, so I figured it must have a unique animation of its own.
What?
I was going to make sure to see what it was before I left Entropy.
What?
Okay, let's stop with that.
Yeah.
But then it was time for another level. The gold brick icon was the closest thing, so I went to that, and I started up in a quote-unquote gold labyrinth level. That's some...
Hey, look, I made this square thing.
That's some Legos right there.
I got tired after making the one square thing, so I just copied and pasted the one square thing a bunch of times. And look, it's a level. Fuck you.
Yeah, look at this.
It's a level. I saw a screenshot, man.
My health and power were refilled. Not sure how or why, but I was glad not to be heading in the unknown nearly dead. I also noticed that my Mothra sprite had shrunk to half its original size. Wow, isn't that neat? The game referenced your dead girlfriend! Stop noticing things that don't matter! The music was a slow, ominous drum beat, with female vocals kicking in about a minute into it. Quite haunting. Yes. The dead girlfriend gave very good game design. Yes. Quite, yes.
Oh, yes.
A solid 7 out of 10 on IGN.com.
In a review where they use the word design instead of game, like, way too fucking much.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed with any IGN review I've read. 9 times out of 10, they say the word design rather than game. Try this experiment for yourself.
Yeah, take a drink every time you see the word design. Happy St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
The gold labyrinth itself was an anomaly. I'm not sure how this level would have played out if I was using Godzilla or Angry Ass, because flying seemed necessary just to get around this place. That's look at that. Them are some fetus intestines right there. Yes. Very good. Another thing that caught my attention was that when you go left, your monster actually turns and faces the left.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's revolutionary.
That sounds stupidly obvious, but in the original game, you were only supposed to move to the right. So when you tried to move left, your monster ended up walking/flying backwards. The game referenced your dead girlfriend. No longer is that something that should fucking impact you. Oh, my moth can turn. Whoa.
It's just like the game turned on him!
This level was apparently gigantic in size, because every time I thought I had reached an end to it, or thought I was going to end up back where I started, I encountered something totally new. Things like lava blockades, new enemies, and statue faces. Nice.
Fucking Easter Island has.
Fucking birth canals.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
I bet there's gonna be a fucking statue head with the fucking red spider skull monster face thing on it.
I hope so. That face needs to be in every screenshot.
Yeah. How that face used to be in like every presidential portrait.
Hey, anyone watching this, if you want to Photoshop that, send it our way. And I found one statue face at a dead end with a wide, open-eyed stare. The night Melissa died, she had an expression on her face that looked exactly like this the whole time. Even when she got hit by the truck, she still had that same expression. I can't help but feel like something really is staring at me from behind the screen when I look at this.
Oh, I'm your dead girlfriend.
What'd you say about me, you fucking pussy?
Who you calling bald?
I really didn't want to be reminded of that night anymore, so I left the statue almost as soon as I found it. I needed to find the exit anyway, which proved to be no simple task. It felt like this level stretched on forever in all directions, much like this creepypasta. I must have wandered around the level for at least 15 minutes before I finally saw something.
Much like this creepypasta. Except there probably isn't a something at the end. You're just wandering around.
That's great. It's like a half-aborted kangaroo over here. The fuck? It was a creature that wasn't gold. Seemingly the only one of its kind in the level. Lacking any kind of hover ability like the other creatures.
Did Goldmember make this fucking level?
I love gold! Lacking any kind of hover ability like the other creatures, it just walked back and forth on the platform. But it wasn't long after I found it that a flying machine swooped down and grabbed it, and then flew off with it. The machine apparently had not seen me, so I decided to follow it to see where it was taking the creature. The machine stopped at a room with a large cauldron-like object in the center. The machine hovered over to the cauldron and dropped the creature into it. Get dunked.
Dabble, dabble, tile, and trouble.
Yes. The creature emerged from a hole in the cauldron's side. The creature emerged from a hole in the cauldron's side, now adorned in the same gold color as everything else. The machine flew off. I'm not really sure what to make of this, but I'm glad I came upon it because I found the exit soon after. This is our space toilet.
So they had to make everything gold. This is fucking Goldmember's level. Shit.
Yeah. You must be gold. When I got back to the board, I realized that the bosses hadn't moved at all. A bit odd, but it didn't bother me. It made planning my route through Entropy easier. There were still 2 new icons to explore, the Indigo Cliffs and a black version of the Labyrinth. Since there were only 3 black Labyrinth icons, which were surrounded by bosses, I played the Indigo Cliffs first. Those sure are some Indigo Cliffs.
Mm-hmm. Is this creepypasta to go anywhere anytime soon?
It was a lot like the Blue-Green Mountains. The level graphics had the same shredded look to it.
Okay, I think we've established the guy is a shit-ass writer.
I'm gonna keep establishing it. I'm gonna hammer it in over and over. Forever. There's also a recolor of the clouds and moon from the toxic waste dump. The music, if you can call it that, is merely a deep rumbling noise. Well, the game cartridge is hungry.
Its stomach is growling.
It wants a food. One of the first things I encountered were these multicolored creatures with big heads emerging from a small cave in the ground.
Ah, we are the bean people.
Fucking- Follow the yellow brick road.
Are you Candy?
Are you Kansas? Or is this not Kansas anymore? They all made a synchronized shaking sound and they walked to the right in a group after emerging from the cave, ignoring me. Having no other way to go, I followed them on their route. Excuse me, I'm getting fucking bored reading this. More and more emerged from the cave until the group had about 100 creatures. Eventually, the pathway ended in a cliff. I was shocked to see that upon reaching the cliff, all the creatures began jumping off into the abyss.
It's a
lemmings.
symbol. It's a symbol for the fucking creepypasta.
And they come out and they look like shit, and then they fall and die. Much like the creepypasta. Also,
falling off of a cliff.
I can't wait for this Lemmings ROM hack to come out.
Oh yeah.
I've seen enemies walk off cliffs before, but I've never seen NPCs commit mass suicide like this. Very unsettling way to start off a level. I continued on, flying over various strange animals like the ones shown here. Gorgeous. All of them gorgeous. This is a fashion show of the century.
This is Godzilla's next top model.
Another group of multicolored quote-unquote bobbleheads was jumping up and down, only to be snatched up by large birds, which I'm fairly certain are sprite versions of the giant condor from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. Damn, are some birds.
Yeah, just fucking grab it by the face.
I wish they would grab the face levels by the face and drag them out of the game.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I defeated some of the condors in battle, but it bothered me that these bobbleheads seem to be so eager to die. If the game itself is alive, perhaps the creatures in these levels are also alive? And some have very unhappy lives if this behavior is any indication.
Yes, we need to give them fucking therapy.
Yeah.
We need to work to improve the lives of video game enemies.
Yes, we need to fucking hack this game to have the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number.
Yes.
In there so that the monsters can call it. What is your emergency? I'm a bean monster from a video game!
Kill me. Just please kill me.
But what provokes them to do this? In the back of my mind, I almost suspect the glowing moon in the sky is the reason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because when you see someone who wants to kill themselves, the first fucking instinct is like, it's probably the moon.
Yeah.
It's the moon making them do that.
What is this?
Are the fucking moon rays getting to you, man?
What is this, the Middle Ages? And I bet the reason she's coughing up blood is because the air is bad. Because everything comes from the fucking, like, the air and the spirits all around it.
Yeah.
At the end of the level, I saw yet another group of the bobbleheads marching up to a large monster and being devoured. Great. It's like something out of The Thing. This was starting to disgust me, so acting on impulse, I fired off I-beams at both the monster and the bobbleheads. I destroyed the cave. That's great.
That's not what Mothra did. That's just what the guy playing the game did.
He fired I-beams.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, I'm the guy from X-Men.
Yeah, I'm Cyclops.
Yeah.